What's up, everybody? Eric here with another EWE Reviews. Today we're going to be talking about Last of Us Episode 4. Before we get into that, as a reminder, this is going to be spoiler-free at the beginning. I'll give you guys a mark letting you know when I'm going to go into spoiler territory, and then we'll go on the full spoilers. Another thing to note is that I might mention some of the stuff that happened at the end of Episode 3 from last week. So if you guys haven't watched Episode 3, I might recommend you stop this video now, come back to it once you watch Episode 3, and then hopefully once you watch... Actually, if you haven't watched Episode 4, the beginning of it won't be any spoilers like I said. Just wait till the part where I say spoilers and drop out if you haven't watched Episode 4 and you don't want to find out what happens. Alright. So again, welcome into the EWE Reviews. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you guys thought about this episode or any other video you guys want me to review, movie or show. I have some gaming stuff on the gaming channel, but I need to get more work done over there. Alright, so let's go on to some basic info for this episode. It was released on February 5th, 2023. The cast is Pedro Pascal as Joel again, Bella Ramsey as Ellie, and this week we have Melanie Lynskey as Kathleen. We don't have as many other prominent characters as them. There are some characters at the end that I'm gonna spoil in the spoilers territory, not yet, but we'll talk about them later. This episode had a runtime of, I believe, 45 minutes, so it's shorter than the last episode for sure. The last one I think was was an hour and 15 minutes, so we lose about 30 minutes on this. So basic plot of this episode, the idea is now we're going into another city because we still need to go find Tommy, because that's the goal, to find Tommy, and Tommy hopefully leads us to the Fireflies. That's the basic idea of what we're trying to get to in this episode, but we are going to find out that not every territory is going to be non-hostile. Like they're going into Kansas City in this episode, and it's not as a good spot as where they were at before in the city before. I think they were in Baltimore, maybe? No, where were they at in the first episode? I can't remember, guys. It's been a long day of work. But yeah, we're going into a new territory, and we'll see what happens here. So again, I'm going to spoil things in the spoiler section right here. Let me just tell you real quick some of my thoughts on this episode. So there's a lot of good in it, and they're definitely trying to build to something. My best guess is that this would be better as a part 1, part 2, with the next episode being the conclusion of what happened in this little story arc. And if it is what I think it is, it's gonna be something crazy and amazing, and I hope you guys do check that out once it's out. But yeah, this episode, they're trying to sow the seeds of Ellie and Joel's relationship, as Joel right now is kind of just treating her like cargo. Eventually we're trying to get to a part where Joel sees her more as a person, maybe like family or something like that. So that's kind of what it feels like we're building onto it. We're trying to get that father-daughter connection with the two. And we're just sowing the seeds in a little bit. There are moments in this episode where you can kind of tell Joel is trying to pull back, but he can't. But that's just what it is. He's spending a lot of time with this girl, things like that. This episode is also weird because it's our first time getting like an actual villain in an episode. I think for the most part, everything's been like entities, like the Infected is an entity, Fedra is an entity. We don't really have like a face for it. We kind of have a face for something in this episode. So those are my spoiler-free thoughts. Going now to my score, I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10 for good. I don't think anything about this is bad at all. I think it was a really solid episode. But the fact that it's only 45 minutes, which is shorter than what we're used to, and it felt like there's a lot more to do with this story. Like I said, that's why I'm pretty sure it's a part 1 and 2, with the next episode being the conclusion of it. It's like there's more here, and you're kind of like, oh, I want to hear more, I want to hear more. But yeah, I think this is a good episode. You guys should definitely check it out. I do recommend you watch it. The nice thing is we don't have to wait long for Episode 5. Episode 5 luckily comes out on Friday this week. It's not coming out on Sunday because they don't want to compete with the Super Bowl. So they're giving it to us a little bit early. So that's pretty cool. I'll give it just, like, we don't have to wait an entire week for it. So that's awesome. Alright guys, so those are my spoiler-free thoughts on this episode. If you want to keep watching, I'll be going into some actual spoiler territory for this one. So here's your warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright guys, welcome into the spoiler section now. And oh my god, at the end of the episode when you finally, because you hear them mention Henry the entire episode, and then at the end where you finally see Sam and Henry, Although, did we actually see Henry? We see Sam for sure, but you just know it's like, oh shit, things are gonna happen now. We're about to get to this story, so that was awesome. Like I said, I don't spoil anything for the future. I'm just telling you guys I'm excited because I know what's coming, but I'm not gonna spoil anything for the rest of it. So let's go back to this episode. The beginning of it is still Ellie and Joel traveling. They're still using the truck. They're siphoning fuel from other vehicles. They're just getting as resources as they go. And there was this part where they actually do stop. And you can kind of tell, actually, before I even get there, Ellie kind of thinks she's a badass with a gun. She's like, oh, because I have a gun. She's hiding it from Joel and stuff like that. And we do have a part that I'll talk about in a little bit soon, where you kind of start noticing that even though she tries to act like she's a mature adult and stuff like that, she's still a child. There's still parts of her, like, there's things that she's just like, I can't believe what's going on. And maybe it's not even being a child. It's more, she's not battle-hardened. She's not like Joel. Joel can kill someone, and at this point, he's just like, it is what it is. All right, going back to, like, so Ellie's messing with the gun, they're siphoning fuel, and they eventually do stop to, like, rest for the night, and you can kind of tell Joel's even telling her, like, no, we have to be out, like, we can't use the fire because we don't want anyone to find us. We want to make sure that the infected don't, like, we're going to a secluded area, so we know there's probably no infected and stuff like that. There's ideas to Joel why he's doing things the way he's doing, and it's really cool to see this because there's stuff you hear in little convos in the video game, but you're actually seeing it out with Pedro Pascal actually saying stuff like that. It's like, okay, cool, this guy knows what he's doing to survive, and Ellie's learning from him. So you're seeing this, like, a father talking to his son or daughter and telling them, hey, this is the way you do things in order to survive. This is what you need to do. It's like he's trying to get that familiar relationship with her. But at the same time, he says stuff like, your cargo. Like, I just got to make sure that you're getting to the place. Because he's trying to, like, not have that bond with her. But it's hard not to have it when it's just them two. If Tess was still around, maybe he would treat her like cargo because Tess was his people. But Tess isn't there, so now all he has to do, he's around this girl 24/7. He has to make sure she's safe. She's hearing some stuff about his life, so you can kind of tell, like, they're making that father-daughter connection with them, where they're really going to care about each other. So, and we actually do get a moment of that in this episode. So, going a little bit further, when they eventually do make it to Kansas City, and they get into the city, and you can kind of tell, like, it's probably a mistake, and right away, like, things don't look good. The quarantine zone seems like it's been abandoned by Fedra. And then out of nowhere, they get ambushed. And, like, their vehicle's gone. These people are trying to kill them. Eventually, Joel gets the jump on a few of them. One of them does get the jump on Joel, and he's about to kill him. And then this is the moment where Ellie finally has to use the gun. And you feel for Ellie because, like, she shoots the guy, and he doesn't die. She should have aimed higher, but the guy doesn't die, and Ellie's just, like, you can tell she's paralyzed. She's not used to this type of thing. And instead of her killing the guy, Joel just does it for her, but he says, you gotta walk away. Like, he tells her to go away because he's gonna have to do it. And yeah, Joel had to kill him in the situation. He doesn't know where they're at. They don't know these people. They tried to kill him, even though the guy's trying to, like, ask for his life. I think he's screaming for his mom. It's just like Joel knows, like, no, I can't let him live. All right, so now they're in Kansas City, and there's, like, these. So it's not being run by Fedra. It's just people running, like they made their own little, not government, but their own little settlement. And the leader of this group is named Kathleen. And right from the start, she's looking for Henry, because Henry ratted out her brother, and that led to Fedra eventually killing him, I think, while he was imprisoned by them. So Kathleen has it out for Henry. So Henry's trying to get away from them. They're hunting him, but they're not sure if this people that are now attacking is Henry or some other people doing things like that. So Kathleen's kind of like our new bad guy for these next two episodes. She seems ruthless. She seems like she doesn't care who on her side dies as long as she eventually kills Henry. She seems like a woman on a mission, and her mission is above anything else. The safety of her people does not matter to her. She just cares about killing Henry. So yeah, so now Joel and Ellie are trying to maneuver inside the city, trying to, like, find a place just to sleep, while they know that they're being looked for. Joel does have this moment where he's teaching Ellie how to use a gun, and Ellie does say that this wasn't her first time killing someone. And you can tell, like, Joel's just like, damn, like, I wish that wasn't your world that you live in. because I mean, Joel grew up in a world where it wasn't like that. But Ellie, she was born after the pandemic started, so it's just like, this is all Ellie knows, and Joel just feels bad for the fact that she has to go through this, but it is what it is. So he's going to try and make sure she's able to stay safe. So, like I said, they're growing these seeds of like a father-daughter relationship where it's like Joel really cares about her. And it's very similar to the game. The game's a lot easier to do because you're with Ellie for the entire game. So it's different there. Here we've already had one episode where we don't necessarily even have Joel and Ellie that much. Episode 3. So now we're getting into growing their relationship, and we'll see where it is by episode 8. But yeah, the episode ends with Sam and Henry getting the jump on Joel and Ellie while they're still sleeping. We'll see what happens here because that's where it ends. So we'll go back on Friday and we'll see. Right now, I'm not sure. So that's the end of this episode. Like I said, it was a short episode. Episode 5, we'll see when I actually post it. It's out on Friday. I'm not sure if I'll have time Friday night to watch it, so I might put that out Monday. But if I'm able to do it on Friday, I might just post it on Saturday, the next episode. So just keep an eye out for that, guys. Other than that, please let me know what you thought about this episode. Are you guys excited? Excuse me. Are you excited for where we're heading? Do you feel like we're setting up for something epic eventually in this show? Remember, we still haven't had that big budget fighting episode where like a bunch of infected and stuff like that. I feel like we are going to eventually get there. We're just not there yet. I would assume episode 6 or 7 is going to be something like that. But yeah, guys, I'm really enjoying this show. Like I said, this is a 7 out of 10. Good for me. The only reason I can't give it anything higher is because I feel like this was a setup episode, and then we're going to get a great conclusion in the next one. So other than that, yeah, I think this was great. Please, good. Please let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys later.